Walmart CEO Doug McMillon was, of course, one of the corporate executives criticizing the president's response to the violence in Charlottesville, Virginia. In a memo to employees earlier in the week, McMillon faulted the president for not, quote, unequivocally rejecting the appalling actions of white supremacists. The remarks came as many corporate titans distanced themselves from the president yesterday by stepping down from his advisory councils. Following the raft of resignations, the president dissolved two of those councils himself, tweeting yesterday, "Rather than putting pressure on the business people of the Manufacturing Council and Strategy and Policy Forum, I'm ending both. Thank you all." Joining us now, Executive Director of the National Diversity Coalition for Trump and President of the Trump Media Advisory Board, Bruce LeVell. Bruce, good to see you. Thanks so much for joining us. Your thoughts.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're happy you're here. Your thoughts on what took place this week in terms of all of these CEOs trying to distance themselves from the president?
Well, you know, it's like the president has said in his campaign. You know, he's not going to be tied to any special interest and in my take on this, Maria, is that if you want to come serve and you want to be a part of this administration, don't come with an umbilical cord tied to a group or special interest, and come with the willingness to serve. And the one thing about this is don't cave in to mainstream media out here trying to paint a picture on this president and make him out to try to be something that he's not. And cave in. I mean, we need something strong. We don't need weak people to come in this administration. We want people to come in here, as the president said, for the people, by the people, and put it back into the small businesses like myself, who we make up 80% of the tax base of the United States, the small business here, myself here having a business in Atlanta. So this president is keeping his campaign promises. Come to the table, but don't come weak.
Yeah, I know, but people want to see strength when it comes from the president, when he denounces Nazis and neo-Nazis.
Yeah.
How come that was so difficult for him?
Well, I don't think it was difficult, Maria, with all due respect. I think, you know, when I saw this come up, I was on the other mainstream networks all week, and I can tell you that I counted 13 times all the way back to 1991 with Larry King on the show. I counted in 2000 with Matt Lauer. And it's like, at some point, at what time will we stop as Americans, and most media, not all, stop giving this person from Louisiana this life by keep bringing his name up? You know what it does? If you notice, like here in Atlanta, have you noticed you haven't really heard from a lot of the civil rights icons, older folks like my uncles who marched with in the civil rights movement here in Atlanta? And the reason why, Maria, is because they know that anytime you give a negative darkness such as this person, who I will never mention his name ever, and I have challenged all the mainstream medias to stop giving life to this person. This is what keeps breathing it.
Bruce, I understand, and believe me, you've got support, you know, here. So, but the people wanted. I mean, how hard is it to just denounce? I mean, he did it very clearly on Tuesday, but then he sort of muddied the waters by saying that there are fine people on both sides. That was the issue, and that's why it's still being talked about. And I think that was really why all of these CEOs were getting calls from their constituents. Larry Summers was calling everybody, saying, look, you're not fit to lead if you don't step down. So in other words, he's setting himself up.
Well, no, I think what people are doing is, Maria, is trying to read too much into the tea leaves. The bottom line is that there were good people, like the young lady that lost her life. You know, you got to remember, they were coming to talk about taking down this Confederate statue. There were other peaceful type movements. Now, remember now, we're not finished with the investigation that the Attorney General has sent out troops on the ground immediately, unlike previous administrations that were poor Ferguson almost burnt to the ground till they finally came in. So, you know, I think
Bruce Lawrence Jones here. Those people that you're mentioning were marching with the Klan. You do realize that, right?
No, sir, there were other people there that
and they
came
were marching
to come
with the Klan.
about. No. See, here we go again. There were other younger people that came there to talk about the statue.
Oh, you mean the ones with the tiki torches?
No. See here we go again. Here we go.
You know
there
what?
Were other young people.
It's such a stark and horrible situation that people don't have tolerance to hear about the few others that were there to just talk about the statues. That's the thing, Bruce.
That's,
I mean,
that's the good people.
Right.
Those,
and I
that's what the president is saying.
But it's so bad, and it's so obvious, and it's a shame that we all have to come out and say, I'm against Nazis. I'm against hatred. I'm against bigotry. I mean, obviously, but this is what's happening because there's too much muddying of the waters. That's why, Bruce. Go